As we head towards the holiday season, it's time to take a look back at the first half of the college hockey season, which has provided us with many gifts. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Matt Scalzo alongside Josh Bartosik and Anna LiCastro, here to break down the college hockey season to this point. Now, we've seen a lot of strong programs that we expected to see at the top, and a few pleasant surprises, a good stocking stuffer, if you will. Josh, starting with you, who has been the biggest surprise this season to this point?
Well, it's got to be the Wisconsin Badgers, right? I mean, Mike Hastings has come in from Minnesota State and turned that program around. College hockey is always better when the Badgers are good. They haven't been good since Cole Caulfield left a few years ago. I mean, they bring in not just Mike Hastings, but you bring in Simon Tassi, Christian Fitzgerald, David Sillier from Minnesota State as well. And Sillier and Fitzgerald are both top 5 in points on that team. And their goaltender as well, Kyle McClellan, he came in to Penn State last year, had nearly 50 saves on senior night, has taken the reins, has a sub-2 goals against average, and around a .937 save percentage. And those Badgers, they swept Michigan, they swept Minnesota. They were number 1, they took a bit of a dip, but they're still a top 10 team in the nation, and I think they're really on their way to making it back to the Frozen Four.
Well, Josh, I definitely agree with you. Wisconsin has been super fun to watch so far this season. They're absolutely killing it. For me, though, my biggest surprise, so far at least, would actually have to be Boston College. They're sitting at number 2 in the USCHO poll right now, right above their Boston buddies, Boston University, and right below number 1, North Dakota, who they actually have the same record as right now. They're both 12-3-1. Which for Boston College is a great start to their season after they ended last season 14-16-6. Cutter Gauthier and Ryan Leonard, 2 really notable players so far. They're leading the team in goals. They've got 12 and 10 respectively. And then Jacob Fuller, their starting goaltender, has maintained a save percentage of .929. So they're just on a roll right now. And I mean, they, in their season opener, they ended up beating the 2023 NCAA national champion Quinnipiac, and they just haven't stopped since. I mean, they have yet to be swept themselves, but they themselves have swept MSU, UConn, UMass. They beat Notre Dame. All these teams that they were struggling with last season, they've just turned around and are stomping on now. So.
A lot of surprises. I'm personally going with the Maine Black Bears, keeping it in the Northeast. They were unranked at the start of the year, now top 10 at number 8, coming off a big win against arch rival New Hampshire. And now, as much as everyone loves a feel-good story, there's also the other end of it, those teams that have been disappointments, those that wake up and find coal in their stocking on Christmas morning. Who's been the biggest disappointment so far this season, starting with you, Anna?
My biggest disappointment so far, or at least the one that's stood out the most to me, would have to be the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Last year, they were the 2023 NCAA runner-ups after losing to Quinnipiac in the finals, and now they're sitting at number 10 in the USCHO poll. They're 16 games into their season, and they've totaled half the number of losses that they totaled in their whole season last year. Not exactly where you want to be as someone who's typically considered a top team. They already got swept by Wisconsin, who, as you mentioned, is playing phenomenally this year. But then they also went and split series with both Penn State and Notre Dame, 2 teams who they had no problem sweeping last season. So why is this happening, you may be asking? Get to the point, please. And to that, I would have to give you the most glaringly obvious answer, which is that, among other factors, their league goal scorer and leader in assists last season, Logan Cooley, is now off playing his first NHL games with the Arizona Coyotes. So awesome for Logan Cooley, not so awesome for Minnesota.
I mean, yeah, I kind of went a similar route. I went with the Michigan Wolverines. Now, they may not be the most disappointing team in all college hockey. For Michigan Wolverine standards, similar to Minnesota, this is a pretty disappointing season. Right now, they're 15th in pairwise, which is right on that bubble. But the last time that Michigan was even close to not making the tournament, and then they ended up not making the tournament, was 2019. And this is a program that has been dominant for so many years. Similar to Minnesota, this is a Michigan team that lost a lot of goal scoring. Adam Fantilli, one of those, Luke Hughes as well. But the main issue, because they've gotten that scoring back, Rucker McGrory has been fantastic. They have a bunch of guys in the top 10 in NCAA scoring. But Jake Barchevsky's leading the way in net, and he is nowhere close to where Eric Portillo has been. He's got a near sub 900 save percentage and a near 3 goals against average, right around 2.75, which normally wouldn't be bad. But this is a Michigan team that's, again, they're struggling to find goaltending consistency, and they have really struggled just to win a series. I mean, they split Penn State. Like you mentioned, they also got swept by Wisconsin. They have really not had a great start to the season. And Brendan Narato, the head coach for the Wolverines, has really got to figure something out, because if they go down a slide in the second half of the season, it could be game over for the Wolverines, and that could be a huge wake-up call for that program.
Two Big Big Ten teams that have really had strong past struggling this season and keeping it in the Mitten State. Michigan Tech, a team that was in the tournament last year, preseason top 10. They've struggled as well this year, now unranked. And we've talked on the national level. We'll localize it here, talk about Penn State, currently ranked number 17 in the country. Have had an up and down season. Josh, starting with you, what would you make of the year so far for the Nittany Lions?
It's kind of weird to process the Nittany Lions. I mean, they're kind of like a shirt that you would get on Christmas Day, right? Like, it's not necessarily what you want, but it's a necessity. And for right now, what Penn State's doing is a necessity. I think you can consider this season a success because there were so many question marks on the offensive side. They lost nearly 50% of their points in guys that left: Kevin Wall, Tor Linden, Connor McEachran, and several guys, and a couple guys that left to the transfer portal as well. But the kid line of Aiden Fink, Reese Lawback, and Mac DeMarco has been fantastic. 35 points over the last 10 games. Aiden Fink just got HCA Rookie of the Month in November. So the offense has not been the issue. The main issue has been goaltending, which was really a shock coming into the season. I mean, Liam Souliere, one of the best seasons we've seen from a Penn State goaltender last season, really struggling so far this year. Noah Grannon's come in, has been really solid, but the two are splitting time right now. And until the goaltending gets figured out, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the year goes for Penn State. They've got big wins, like you mentioned, over Minnesota, and we talked about how they beat Michigan as well, and they haven't won in Michigan in 4 years, since 2019. So they've had some big wins, but the second half of the season is always where Penn State struggles, so it's a little too early to tell, but based on where people thought this team would finish in the Big Ten and nationally, still being ranked and hovering right around number 17 in the pairwise as well, is a pretty good start.
I think you said it really well. Up and down season so far. The kid line is doing awesome. They show it on the ice every weekend, and Guy Godowski thinks so too. Aiden Fink especially. He and Ryan Kerwin are leading the team in goals right now. They've got 9 apiece. And then on top of that, Aiden's leading the team in assists. He's got 13 right now. I'm putting him down right now for Rookie of the Year. I want $1 or something if that actually happens. We'll see. We'll find out. But anyway, he's not the biggest kid either, but he's just so fast. He's got that hustle factor, and that makes him really fun to watch. And then someone else I enjoyed watching so far this season has been Noah Grannon. Because he's gotten so much playing time, he's improved a lot. He's holding a .909 save percentage right now, which is great. It's actually better than Souliere's. So he's been fun to watch. And then someone that I don't think gets enough shout-outs, so I'm going to shout him out right now, Jacques Bucco. Look at that guy go. He's got 8 goals on the season right now. Most of them have come in the past 4 games or so, including his hat trick against Lindenwood. He's been great on the offense. And then for the team as a whole, I honestly have to say that their resilience has been kind of inspiring. You know, they were under kind of a little curse there for a while, couldn't win on Saturday, couldn't lock in the Game 2 victory, but you know, based on their recent games, dare I say it, the curse has been lifted, and it should be an exciting rest of the season.
So Penn State currently on and up in compared to most of this season so far, and they finish out the rest of their 2023 in Madison this weekend against number 6 Wisconsin, and then open up the new year at Pagula Ice Arena against Army on January 6th. This has been an action-packed start to the season, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the season pans out. Maybe some changes to the naughty or nice list. That does it for this edition of Penn State Sports Night. For Josh Bartosik and Anna LiCastro, I'm Matt Scalzo. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your night.
Everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.